All right, good evening once again. Welcome to another video. All right, so from the last video, we began speaking about, dealing with the getting started tools, and we started with the search tool, the select tool, and the eraser. All right, so in this video, we'll be going into some extra tools. So here we have the outline of the tools that we'll be looking through, and we've gone through the generic tools, which is the search command, select, and lasso select. Yeah, the select and the lasso select. I explained how the lasso works. And then we have the drawing tools, which we've dealt with eraser. So the next tool we have in line is the line tool. Right, the next tool we have in line. All right, so going down into that. So all right, so getting started with the line tool. All right, so the line tool, can I hide this prompt? All right, so the line tool is this tool right here. So, okay, so what does the line tool do? All right, so, if you check the list, I did section the tools with names, and this I call the drawing tools, and that's because majorly, if you remember what we were talking about CAD, we explained about accuracy and stuff like that. So what these drawing tools give us the ability to take the drawings, we do some sketch before we start, making them into 3D and stuff like that. So the line tool just enables us to draw lines. All right, every drawing is made up of lines. Every single drawing is made up of lines. A cube is made up of lines in different sides that started off probably as a rectangle or as a square, so but at the end of the day, every 3D object is made up of lines, like I did explain in the first one of the videos where we're talking about the 3D space, and I explained how modeling is the art of creating 3D objects. All right, and we talked about vertices, we spoke about lines, and we spoke about faces. All right, so we know that three lines connected together will make a face. All right, three vertices or points connected to 2 points connected together makes a line. All right, but that being said, here we've put it into practice with the line tool. All right, so what the line tool does in the inner workings is that it takes whatever point you click on, and it creates a second point. All right, so what it does here is it puts a vertex up where I clicked, and then as I move my mouse, it's looking for the next place to place the next vertex, and when it places the next vertex, it connects both vertex and creates a visible line. All right, so you can see that as I pull my mouse, because I just clicked, I didn't click and drag, just click. All right, as I draw my mouse is it's showing me where I could put the next point. So once I click again, it puts the next point. So automatically it created a vertex here and a vertex here and connected them via a line. And if you look again, it's still showing me to click again. All right. So what the line tool does, it enables you to draw a couple of lines connected directly to each of the points where you click. All right. So if I click a point here again, click a point here again, I click a point here again, and another one here again, and I connect them together. All right, now the next thing is like, okay, this is a closed line. Why is it not forming a face? It's not forming a face because if I should use my orbit tool and rotate around, you see it's a very weird thing. You see, this is the issue with the 3D space. You have to be careful what you're creating, because now when you looked at it from that angle, it looks as though we just drew a shape that could just easily, cover. But now we're looking at it from a different angle. We are seeing that this first set of lines were flat, but as we got to this point, it went up, and then here it went down. All right, so 3D, a face will not be formed at such a place. I just use the erase tool. Now, what will form a face there is when I use this tool and I draw a straight line to this point. It will form a face because they are all flat. A face is flat. A face is like a plane. If you know what a plane is, you know that I don't mean like your airplane. I mean like plane shapes, kind of plane. Plane shapes are aligned along the same axial planes, and what that means is they are flat. All right, so the line tool, what it does is just enables us to draw shapes. All right, so with the line tool, I could just come and use this to draw, rectangle. You see those things that are appearing that helps me to, snap on. Yeah, I'll explain that after we deal with that getting started tools. Then we'll look into some things. All right, so you see I just finished drawing different lines, and as I draw my line, I can decide to press escape to stop. When you draw a line, it tells you to continue. So, but when you press escape, it cancels out the continue pattern. All right. So like that, like that, like that. So I can just draw this place, join it to this place, and it forms a face. And draw here and join it to this place, it forms a face. I could the same thing, draw here, join it to form a face, and here like that. So that's practically what a line tool does. It enables you to, draw lines. All right. So one of the things you need to know is, because we have started dealing with the drawing tools, I would want to introduce you to this lower right bar right here. All right. So what this lower right bar is our parameters. Yeah, that's where we see the information concerning what we are doing. All right, now you must have noticed, if you were attentive, when I clicked and drag, you'd notice it's showing us the length. All right, so to show you different things based on the tool you're using, right? So, but you always want to keep an eye there, because that's what makes for accuracy in your drawing. That's where the CAD comes into play. All right, so you could see that peradventure I cleaned everything here, and I wanted to draw a rectangle that was 200 mm rectangle, yeah, 200 mm and 400 mm. So I could just click and draw the longer side to be 400. Okay, that's 3,000. Okay, let me just do 4,000, and then I would say 4,000, and I click enter. Now notice that while I type 4,000, sorry, moving my mouse a little bit, or my cursor a little bit, it's not showing me the pen tool. But when I drag it out, it shows me the pen tool. What it does is, when I type the value, it locks in that particular angle and the particular length and width for the modification I'm doing. Once I click enter, or once I press enter, sorry, what it does, it commits that particular angle and the length that I typed in, and just builds it. And automatically it has done 4,000 mm from this point to this point. So if I should use my tape tool, which I will talk about later, and measure it, you see it's 4,000. All right. So that's how you could use the line tool to draw accurate lines. So if I do 4,000 along this axis, 4,000, then I do 2,000 along this axis, because I want it there. Then I can decide not to type it again. I could just use the guides, and when I get to this point, it shows me a snap, and I click, and point showed me snap, and I click, and voila. Now you can see we have a complete rectangle. And as such, we can also draw a complete rectangle. We could draw also a triangle, and many more shapes that you could draw. There is no limit to what you could do with this. All right, this tool is no limit to what you could do. Your mind is your limit. Right. So that being said, that's that for the line tool. Right. So going on to the next tool. The next tool we have on our list is the freehand tool. Oh, yeah, the freehand tool. And by the way, before the freehand tool, when you use your line tool and you click on an existing line, it continues from where you stop. All right. So, but of course, you notice I close it and nothing happens. If you orbit it, you find out that whole weird thing. So whenever your line closes and you don't notice a face being formed, then it's not on the same plane, and you want to check that out. All right. So one of the ways to avoid that error is to ensure that you are modeling from a look down perspective, a top down perspective, and we'll deal with that maybe when we are dealing with additional tool sets. All right. So that being said, that's all for the tool there. And then the next tool here we have is our freehand tool. All right. So with the freehand tool, I could go ahead and draw. Yeah, I could draw whatever I want to draw here. And by the time I close it, forms the face for me. All right. So freehand tools comes in very useful at different times. Maybe when you want to draw some specific kind of, freehand sketch, like maybe this lady standing here with a card and stuff like that. All right. So, you could use SketchUp for different kinds of things, and even for architectural building plans that are not 3D. So you could actually draw everything 2D in the flat surface and, export it. And that's part of why we have layouts. So, but that being said, there are many things you can do freehand. All right. So if you actually have a pen, like I do, I actually have a pen for my my device. Right. Yeah, I have a pen for my device. So this pen is a stylus pen. specifically for a Wacom stylus pen for the screen of my laptop. So with this, if I have the freehand tool selected, I could literally just, draw. You see how I'm drawing very fluid. So it actually gives you a lot of flexibility to do some things, and we'll probably use that along the course. And you see how powerful that tool can be, as inaccurate as it is. This is CAD and we want accuracy, but there are times we want free form. All right. So that's that for the freehand tool. All right. So those are the only two tools there.